Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. I'm Carissa Slaughterbeck. I'm the director of the Resilient Communities Project here at the University of Minnesota, and we're so happy to see a really full room. We were over capacity, happy that a few people dropped out, but we're super happy that you're here and didn't drop out. So thank you again for being here, and I know you represent lots of different interests. We have students here, we have faculty here, we have administrators at the university, we have lots of great folks from the city of Rosemount and lots of other stakeholders who are interested in these issues of community engagement and sustainability and resilience. So thank you very much again. We have a program for you over the next 45 minutes or hour or so where we're going to share a little bit of information about what we do in the Resilient Communities Project. We're going to highlight some of the work that students and faculty have done this year and highlight especially the great partnership that we've had with the city of Rosemount, and then also preview the opportunities we'll have next year working with Carver County. So I'm going to kick us off with just sharing a little bit of information about what we do in the Resilient Communities Project. So again, here today, though, first to talk about the success that we've had over the last year, going to get some perspectives from a variety of folks, and have that opportunity to kick off. So many of you are familiar with the Resilient Communities Project. All of the folks in Rosemount are deeply familiar with the Resilient Communities Project now, and lots of students and faculty have connected in a variety of ways. What we're trying to do with the Resilient Communities Project is advance sustainability and resilience, and do that in a way that we wouldn't be able to do on our own at the university or on our own in communities. Looking at that partnership as the critical way to foster innovation around sustainability and resilience, bringing expertise from both sides, attacking issues and opportunities from both sides, and doing it in a way that's really collaborative. And we're so impressed by the work that's been produced over the last few years. We do this through a one-year community partnership, and we're now in our third year wrapping up this partnership with the city of Rosemount. And we've had the opportunity as Resilient Communities Project to play matchmaker in lots of different ways, matching courses, matching departments, matching disciplines and expertise with problems, issues, opportunities that exist in communities, and doing a lot of work with people who are living in these communities and working in these communities, people who are here at the university, making lots of interesting connections and seeing a lot of great work come forward. I want to acknowledge, first of all, the support that we get from the Center for Urban and Regional Affairs, as well as the Institute on the Environment. Both of those centers have really been critical to helping us get this program started and also to sustain it over time, and we're grateful for that support. And I want to also acknowledge the Sustainability Faculty Network. So this is a network of faculty that started about 5 years ago, looking for opportunities to enhance sustainability education at the University of Minnesota. Came across this idea of a collaborative partnership model with communities and took that idea and ran with it and have created over time this Resilient Communities Project. We still connect with a lot of those faculty, and they've been a base of support for our program over time as it's extended even further. So this can be my State of the Union or State of RCP, State of the Partnership slide here. So thus far, we've worked with 3 communities. We've worked with Minnetonka, and we have Jeff Thompson here somewhere. Where is he? There he is. We've worked with North St. Paul. I don't think we have anyone here from North St. Paul, but they were a great partner last year. And we have Rosemount, and you'll meet lots of Rosemount folks shortly. Over these 3 years, we've worked on over 55 projects that were identified by these communities, priorities that the community's staff, governmental staff in the community has identified as priorities for those places to deal with issues that they're dealing with related to demographic change, environmental opportunities, social, political, infrastructure, and other challenges and opportunities, and have created great opportunities for a wide range of students in over 85 classes at the university over 3 years, in 32 departments, in 11 colleges, that has engaged almost 1,000 students over these 3 years. We have the list of colleges that we've connected with here at the university, including the University of Minnesota Duluth and the College of Education and Human Service Professions there. We have students here from Duluth. Can you raise your hands? There you are. Okay, Thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate it. And we've also done dozens of presentations. We've had the opportunity to highlight Resilient Communities Project to audiences at the university, in our community, and in our region, as well as nationally. And it's been a great opportunity to highlight the innovative work that we're doing here through this program that's supported by all of you. A unique opportunity that we had this year that we wanted to highlight, even though we're here focusing on the Rosemount Partnership, we as RCP had a great opportunity to kind of enhance our national profile by hosting the Sustainable City Year Conference. This is a conference that's now in its 4th year. It's previously been held at the University of Oregon, which is the first university to start a program of this type where you have these year-long partnerships focused on sustainability. We brought the conference to Minnesota. We had 24 colleges and universities represented here in Minneapolis, representatives from 8 municipalities who are working or intend to work with these universities, and representation from over 19 states. So lots of folks coming here to learn from us, learn from other universities that are doing this kind of community engaged work around sustainability. It was a great, great opportunity. You can see some of the kind of engaging conversations that we were able to have and really highlight the innovation that we're able to do here at the University of Minnesota. And the weather was amazing. It was a few weeks ago, which was really lucky because some people were saying, why are we coming to Minnesota and not going to Oregon? But we proved to them that it's great here for lots of reasons. All of this is in service of a bigger set of goals. We're doing lots of great practical projects in communities. We're doing lots of great work with students and faculty, but all of this serves a bigger purpose. One of those purposes is building the practice of sustainability. We want more work in sustainability, more innovative work in sustainability, more models of sustainability practice in communities, and students trained to do that work. And we're also advancing collaborative engagement. So looking at the engagement activities that are happening in universities in collaboration with communities and looking at building more collaborative models that ensure that there are benefits on both sides, all sides, and we're connecting even beyond the community and the university to other stakeholders and people who are interested in these topics. So for students, hopefully providing real-world, fantastic opportunities to complement their education in whatever discipline they're in. For faculty, giving them the opportunity in their classes, in the teaching that they're doing, to connect to real-world issues, share their disciplinary expertise, and position it in the context of communities. And then the last, for the partner community, doing a lot of really great work on issues that are important to those communities, but also producing content that's useful to the broader set of communities. Hopefully the work in Rosemount and North St. Paul and Minnetonka can serve as models for other communities. Hopefully the profile that Rosemount and our other partners have generated around sustainability, the innovation that they're setting the standard for, can advance the broader practice of sustainability and continue to emphasize the opportunities for engagement at the university. I'm going to turn it over to a couple of folks from the university. Andy Furco, who is the Associate Vice President for Public Engagement in the Office of Public Engagement here at the university, who's going to talk a little bit about the role that RCP plays within the university and bigger picture issues and opportunities related to public engagement. So thank you, Andy.
Thank you so much, Carissa. Good afternoon, everyone. I just would like to take a moment to extend my congratulations to Carissa and Mike and the entire Resilient Communities Partnership project team for another successful year. And I also would like to extend my thanks to Mayor Dresty very much and to the city of Rosemount for opening the doors of your city to allow the university into your home to work with you in partnership in this past year, and also to the Center for Urban Regional Affairs and Institute of the Environment for all the support you've provided over the years of the project. You know, I remember the first year of RCP and coming to this event and its partnership with the city of Minnetonka, and there were a dozen projects presented connected to 25 service-oriented courses involving more than 200 students. Certainly an auspicious and very impressive start to RCP. And so we asked the question, could that success be replicated? Well, in year 2 in North St. Paul, there were 17 outstanding projects connected to 40 courses engaging approximately 300 students. And we thought, wow, that's pretty impressive. What can we do next? Well, Here we are, finishing a year in Rosemount with equally impressive and successful initiative, perhaps more so, with 29 community-identified projects, 45 courses, crossing 19 departments and 10 colleges, and more than 400 students engaged. Quite remarkable. So congratulations. Let's give them a round of applause for all this really terrific work. So impressive. And in so many ways, the Resilient Communities Project embodies the kinds of community engagement and public engagement that we seek to cultivate and advance here at the University of Minnesota. It embodies the elements of what we call high-quality, high-impact community engagement. You know, RCP is not just about projects, but it's about building partnerships. A primary goal of our public engagement agenda is to move our community engaged work from being just a set of discrete community projects that come and go, to building more coordinated engagement work focused on building sustained partnerships. And I think RCP is a great embodiment of that. One element of our public engagement strategic agenda is to move the university's community engagement from focus on working in communities to working with communities in ways that build on the expertise and assets that reside in the community. And the partnership, I think, between the City of Rosemount and the university and all three partnerships over the years with RCP has cultivated that kind of engagement over the years. A great example of the collaborative, mutually beneficial approach to community engagement that we strive to achieve here. Another goal that we have is to embed community engagement more fully into the academic fabric of the university by tying community engagement to our research and teaching efforts, and we certainly have that with RCP, as has been demonstrated. Indeed, RCP has proven over the last 3 years to be a shining example of what can be done when respectful, reciprocal, and genuine engagement is put in place. I think what RCP offers are the kinds of engagement opportunities that have impact for all involved, the students, the faculty, and the community. The kinds of meaningful, impactful, intensive community engagement experiences that RCP offers are the kinds our students seek, the kinds of experiences they expect a university like ours to offer. In our most recent survey, our undergraduate survey of our student experience here at the university, more than 84% of the more than 1,200 students who responded to that survey indicated that they agree or strongly agree that opportunities to connect their academic work with community-based experiences are important to them. These are the kinds of experiences our students want and seek. And we just had a great example at our table about a student who chose the University of Minnesota. One of the reasons was because she got to do this kind of work. And for our faculty, the work of RCP is enhancing the impact of the faculty members' scholarly work. In our mission statement, we say we're going to produce research that benefits society. And so part of accomplishing that goal is to work with communities in being able to enhance the impact of our research, societal impact of our research. And we hope that the contributions this year have helped Rosemount advance its goals and priorities. So this is part of our land-grant mission. We are a land-grant university, and people say, you know, we're here to serve the state of Minnesota. But I would say that it's also part of our identity as a research university. It's also part of our identity as an institution of higher learning, where we're educating the future of our citizenship, our citizenry. So I just want to say thank you so much. Here on Twin Cities campus, we have a strategic plan focused on grand challenges. We know we're going to see more and more of this kind of work. So I want to say thank you to all who participated in this initiative. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to express my appreciation and thanks. And I very much look forward to the coming year with the developments taking place in Carver County. So thank you so much.
All right, our next speaker is Shar Voigt. Shar is in the graduate school here at the University of Minnesota and is assistant to the vice provost and dean for graduate education. We were really honored this year to receive a national award related to the work that we're doing on community engagement. Graduate students are essential to this work. We connect across the university, including undergraduates and graduates, but especially in our first couple of years, graduate students were the core of this work. We connect across a wide range of graduate classes, connecting looking to both research-based degrees in graduate education, but also professional degrees that are training people to go out and do this practical work related to sustainability in a broad range of fields. So I'm going to invite Shar up to talk a little bit about that connection.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm actually here on behalf of my Vice Provost and Dean of Graduate Education, Henning Schroeder, who couldn't be here today, but sends his apologies, he had a conflict. But I'm pleased to be here on his behalf and actually on behalf of the graduate school. For those of you who may not know about the MAGS ETC Award for Excellence in Innovation in Graduate Education, this is an annual award jointly sponsored by the Midwestern Association of Graduate Schools and the Educational Testing Service. It's given to MAGS institution schools in recognition of outstanding contributions in practices from graduate education ranging from admissions to degree completion, so the whole range of activities. The purpose of the award is to encourage, recognize, and reward excellence and innovation in domestic and international graduate education. Each member institution each year is allowed to submit a single application for this award. It was our pleasure this year to nominate the Resilience Communities projects for this award. It's my even greater pleasure to say that among all the member institutions and all the applications submitted this year, RCP was selected as the 2014-15 recipient of the MAGS ETC Award. So, congratulations. In her letter of nomination, Provost Hansen wrote, "The strategic vision of the University of Minnesota is to be preeminent in advising and achieving the grand challenges of a diverse and changing world, from disease to world hunger to intolerance." However, she also recognized the unique barriers and risks associated with interdisciplinary research and scholarship, particularly with regard to graduate education. She continued, "The Resilient Communities Project is a model for promoting greater collaboration and engagement across disciplines by connecting the wide range expertise of U of M faculty and students with cities, businesses, and organizations in Minnesota. This innovative approach not only provides sustainability solutions for our partner communities, but also enhances our curriculum with interdisciplinary methods that are helping our students achieve the knowledge, skills, agility that they will need as tomorrow's innovators, lifelong learners, and global citizens." As Carissa kind of alluded to, the roots of RCP go back to an interdisciplinary graduate group that was initially funded by the graduate school about 5 years ago or so through a university-wide competition. The purpose of that network at the time was to bring together faculty from diverse disciplines to explore curricular and programmatic opportunities for graduate education and sustainability. Over time, the network expanded to include faculty teaching undergraduate courses and has involved, I think, Carissa, faculty from almost every college across the Twin Cities campus at least. What I find particularly impressive about RCP is the incredible amount of accomplishments that have been achieved in a relatively 3 years is a relatively short amount of time with a very modest seed funding from the university through that program. Under Professor Slauterbach's guidance, the RCP formed its first partnership, as you said, with the city of Minnetonka, and then with North St. Paul, and of course, as you all know, with the city of Rosemont for this year, and you've all seen the poster sessions and the projects that are involved. I think I actually underestimated, I didn't have the current numbers, almost 1,000 students over 3 years and dozens of projects every year across all colleges is incredible, and an incredible achievement. Vice Provost Schroeder concluded his nomination letter for this award stating, "The RCP has the potential to become the gold standard for advancing community sustainability practices while incorporating community engagement into the fabric of our university. This is a shining example of the great things our faculty and students and staff can achieve when disciplinary boundaries disappear." And I agree with that statement. I'm sure you all do as well. I'd like to ask you to please join me in congratulating Carissa and all the faculty, staff, and students, along with, of course, the community partners that have made RCP what it is in enjoying this national award. And it's well-deserved recognition.
All right, thank you very much, Shar, and Andy as well. I'm going to shift to talking a little bit about what we've accomplished this year with Rosemount, and the key point here is with. This is a deep collaboration that engages most of the staff at the City of Rosemount, many students and many faculty, lots of folks in the region as well. This is such a long list that you can't read it. This is the list of projects that we worked on this year in the city of Rosemount. So I'll hit some highlights because the text is so small, I had to extend the box even. We worked on projects that relate to developing alternative energy systems in Rosemount, climate adaptation, athletic stadium turf options, cultural integration, community gathering space and community gardens, a collaboration with homeowners associations, the economic development website for the city, employee wellness programming, private student housing with Dakota County Technical College, park restoration and environmental education, safe youth driving behavior, projects related to stormwater management, travel shed analysis, water reuse and conservation, and so many more. So many, again, that you can hardly fit them all in this box. And what we had the opportunity to do is provide opportunities for students to work on these projects in a wide range of departments and courses. You see the departments listed here. Again, those cross broadly at the university into a variety of departments and colleges, things like business administration, environmental education, geography, horticulture, housing studies, human resources and industrial relations, and jumping down a bit to the bottom, social work, sustainability studies, urban and regional planning, urban studies, and youth studies, and lots in between. Really exciting to see all of these connections coming together and being able to match interests and issues with expertise across the city and across the university. I'm going to hear a little bit more about from the folks at the city of Rosemount, as well as a little bit more about a few of those projects in a moment. But I also wanted to highlight another aspect of RCP, and that's the opportunity that it creates to pull in some additional partners and stakeholders within the community around these projects. And I think notably, we have seen a significant amount of engagement with advocacy groups, organizations in the city of Rosemount that's even greater than what we've seen in some of the other partner communities, and I think emphasizes the significance of this engagement work as it plays out in the communities as well as at the university. We've worked and connected with Rosemount residents, farmers, business owners, One Rosemount Initiative, Dakota County Technical College, the Umar Park Development Office, Three Rivers Park District, Dakota County Parks, Rosemount Homeowners Associations, the United Methodist Church in Rosemount, Rosemount High School, which has been a great collaboration this year, Flint Hills Refinery, CF Industries, Minnesota DNR, Metropolitan Council, and a number again in between. This has provided great opportunities for students to interact with professionals working in the fields that they might be going into. They've added expertise and insights and resources to these projects that have made them more interesting and more connected to the community and the institutions within it. I'm going to share 3 project examples, and you saw lots more out here on the posters, and thank you to all the students who put that work together. One of the projects that students worked on this year in coordination with faculty in a course called Economic and Workforce Development, taught by Brent Hales, who's here in the room somewhere. He's back there. Thank you, Brent. This is a project focused on asset-based community development, and I think a really interesting aspect of this project was the efforts that students put in the community, as well as the faculty member teaching that course. You have photos here of a community workshop where they were exploring with community members the assets that exist within the community and the unique characteristics of the city of Rosemount that can position it for success in its economic and community development efforts. The goal of this project was to assess local community assets, capitalize on strengths to promote community and economic development, really thinking about what's unique about this place, what are the institutions, ideas, assets that exist across this community that can be drawn on more fully as the community thinks about its future. One of the very interesting projects. Again, a second one is focused on park resource management. Rosemount is a community with a wide range of parks, a lot of emphasis on the importance of recreation and park facilities in that community as contributing to quality of life, contributing to health, providing a lot of other benefits. Here we have a project that was intended to identify strategies for invasive species removal. Invasive species are something we're seeing across our communities, looking particularly at Rosemount's parks, specifically its nature-based parks, Carroll's Woods and Schwartz Pond Park, which are intended as getaways from the urban and suburban life, creating high-quality nature spaces, natural spaces for recreation of all types. Looking at strategies to deal with invasive species in those places, but also think creatively about engagement around invasive species. So how can invasive species and work done to remove those catalyze some engagement, get people interested in these parks, in recreation, and build awareness of environmental protection and environmental issues in the community. This is work that was done by a course at the University of Minnesota Duluth, an environmental education course called Sustainability Issues Investigation. I think we don't have the faculty member here, but we have some of the students. Can you raise your hand? All right, thank you for coming. Sorry, I forgot to have the students in the asset-based community development class raise their hand if there are any here. Okay, they're not, but thank you, Brent. Okay, they're doing something important, for sure. And here we have, I forgot to point out the photo of folks in the field as well as interacting with some folks in the community. And the last project, and this is really to show the range. We could spend time talking about all of these, but this was a really interesting one and brought in some topics that we hadn't addressed in some of the previous partnerships. And this was focused on healthy and safe youth behavior. The city of Rosemount has a public school district that's concurrent with the city's boundaries. The school and its connection to the community are really, really important. There's a large youth population within the city of Rosemount, and looking at the opportunities to connect more fully with high school students, connect more fully with the school, and really look at building a stronger partnership between community issues and opportunities and the high school. What we had here is a youth studies course called Adolescent and Youth Development for Youth Workers. Do we have faculty or students from that one here? Can you raise your hand? Okay, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. The goal of this project, and it was really, really interesting, was to look at recommendations for safe driving curriculum for students at Rosemount High School, looking at issues of texting and other aspects of safety. Here's a little graphic that they were using in some of their materials. And looking at substance abuse and connecting that to high school. So focusing on a reality-based approach to substance abuse, providing education, networking among students, and looking at efforts around restorative rather than punitive measures for students who might violate high school codes related to this. And I think interestingly enough, this was a project that gained some national attention in the Generation 912 Project blog. It was highlighted in an article called Building Citizenship Skills Through School, University, and Community Partnerships. So looking at these opportunities to connect universities with high schools, schools in general, communities around common issues and common interests. And we have some of the high school students here as well, is that right? Can you raise your hand if you're here? Okay. Great. Thank you very much for working with us. We really, really appreciate it. So this, again, a great opportunity to connect to the local high school, provide opportunities not only for our students here at the university, but also to connect with some students, and we'd love to have you here at the university at some point. If you're interested, we can talk. Hopefully, providing some familiarity with the work that happens in cities and these broader issues of sustainability and community. So those are just a few highlights. We'll have a chance to hear a bit more. I want to turn it over to Bill Drosty, the mayor of the city of Rosemount, and also Kim Lindquist, the community development director, to talk a little bit about their experience working with RCP, insights that they're seeing related to their community, and just share a little bit about the experience of the partnership. So thank you, Bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Carissa. Before I make some comments, I'd like to acknowledge several people that are here. First of all, on our city council, Councilmember Vanessa DeMuth, Councilmember Jeff Weisensell, and Councilmember Sean Nelson, if you'd raise your hand. We would have a fourth council member here, but he had to attend a funeral in South Dakota. And for those students that are in political science, consuls speak with a loud voice or a soft voice, and I can't say how proud I am or how much I appreciate the support we have from our council supporting and making this program happen the way it did. So thank you for the council members. I also would like to identify all the city staff that are here. Projects like this take a very large amount of work from city staff, and we knew that. And we appreciate, as a council, the willingness, city staff stepping forward, working with the university, many meetings both on campus and in the field. So if everyone from city staff, if you'd please raise your hand, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. But the third group and most important group is the students and the faculty. We hope you found working with our residents in our community a meaningful process as you studied ways of looking at advancing sustainable development of our communities throughout the United States and throughout the state of Minnesota and the metropolitan area. So what was the benefit to our communities? Cities are always struggling with the issues of housing, transportation, economic development, and land use. And the primary challenge we have is how do we make decisions in a long-term, sustainable focus that considers the impacts of the environment, human wellness, civic engagement, or inclusiveness that moves our communities in a positive direction. This program gave us the opportunity to have students, through the guidance of faculty, to research issues we identified as a community that provided a perspective and an outcome that we would not have been exposed to in a traditional structure. And through this project, I know that today we have more tools and we are better equipped to make decisions in the future through all the work that you provided to us. Carissa just mentioned the high school 3 projects were worked on throughout the high school, and Dr. Thomas Scott, she referenced, if you go on the American Public Education Foundation website a couple weeks ago, he published a blog. And I'd just like to read the one paragraph from the beginning of that blog, and in it, he also describes the 3 projects at the high school. But I think Dr. Thomas, who's a 27 years teacher, social studies and political science teacher at Rosemount High School, I'd just like to quote this paragraph. One of the fundamental purposes of public education is nurture the creation of the skills, attitudes, and behaviors associated with citizen engagement. Such engagement is critical to the realization of the Jeffersonian ideal of an enlightened citizenry capable of promoting the freedom and governmental oversight necessary for democracy. The development of service learning opportunities is essential to the vision. Schools and local communities should not exist in isolation. They need to be interconnected partners striving to promote healthy, secure environments that will promote the general welfare of their citizenry. Schools and local communities exist in a symbiotic relationship. If given the opportunity, students can act as an important catalyst to address the pressing challenges communities face in a global age. And I think Dr. Scott, that summation, it goes on and many other things, just shows the importance of engaging institutions and communities. And just to relate one personal story, over the many meetings we've had over the last 8 months, after a meeting about 3 weeks ago, we had, there were 3 community leaders from our Arts Council that pulled me aside, and they were all excited, asking me this question, guess who we're going to meet with? And I think it was next week, Thursday. And needless to say, as a mayor or elected officials, I've never seen people get excited if they were meeting with us. So I knew it had to be more important than who any of us were, and it was Dr. Hales, who was acknowledged in the back room, if you'd raise your hand again, that he agreed after a public meeting to meet with them again. And it just shows the credibility or the importance that the University of Minnesota plays in any community that you're able to interface with. But in closing, I would like to say this year, I have been told many times by business leaders and residents how much they've enjoyed to have the opportunity to work with students. And one thing I have observed is when you have students as part of the discussion, even on controversial topics, people are more receptive to opposing perspectives than if the students were not part of that discussion. So on behalf of the City of Rosemount, I'd like to say thank you to all of the students, the faculty, and the University of Minnesota. You gave us a great gift. Thank you.
All right, Kim is on her way up. Kim Lindquist is the Community Development Director and was the key point of contact, coordinating and herding cats and doing all kinds of things to make sure this partnership worked really well, and we'd love her reflections as well.
Well, everybody stole what I was going to say, but I did want to mention that I too want to thank the staff at the city. You certainly lightened my load, and we cajoled pretty much every department at the city to participate. And I think that's probably a key lesson for Carver County is you get everybody you can to come on and help out. And it was great experience, and I think we all enjoyed it and we all learned something. From my standpoint, this is a partnership, and I really feel in the projects I was intimately involved with that the students enjoyed it. It was a real-world experience for them that I remember in my grad school we didn't get. Not that I went here, but I do think in talking with them, they got a little bit of the real world in terms of some of those political nuances that we're more familiar with. The restraint in resources. And I think I also surprised a few of them when they realized that all the data that they thought they had really wasn't in the location that they wanted it or in the form that they thought they should have it. And so, you know, practitioners are experiencing that all the time, and so it's not maybe as readily available. So hopefully the students got something out of it. Certainly the city did. I was involved with many of the staff putting together the application. These were questions that were coming up for decades. You know, these are things we never had the time for. It didn't rise to the level of staff time or resources. And so it was great to have all of this taken care of in one fatal swoop. Personally, it was a change for me. The students are enthused, they're dynamic. It was really invigorating to be with them. I was like ready to go back to grad school again. You know, it was something that, you know, when you've been out there for 25, 30 years, you know, you get a little jaded. And this brought in renewed vigor to my, my day and my year, and hopefully we all kind of benefited from that. I think for me, the next step is really trying to put all that information together. You saw the posters. We've got stacks of reports. Okay, they're really on a digital thing, but you know, and we've got to put it together. And I'm thinking of doing RCP2, where we say, okay, now somebody help us pull this all together into digestible pieces. And that'll be a process. Some of the questions are very clear, you know, yes or no, do this, don't do this. But a lot of it, the students really took it the full route, and we went with policies and procedures and philosophical changes that the city will make, and those implementation strategies will occur really over the next couple years. So maybe that's another idea too, is, you know, do you go back to those communities and maybe evaluate what things really did change? Because certainly it touched on a lot of subjects that the city's been interested in for a long time, and I would expect those changes to occur. So I too want to thank everybody. I think, as I mentioned and was pointed out, it was a wide array of projects. Everyone was very engaged. Thank the staff, thank all those partners that we had at the community. Every business or organization we asked stepped right up and wanted to meet. As the mayor said, it was a great experience, and certainly thank you to the council who gave us the opportunity and the time to be able to do this. A special thank to Mike, who really was the cat herder. I just kind of sent the emails. It was very It's a complex project. There's a lot of people, a lot of involvement, and it was great to have Mike there really steering the large ship to get where we are today. So I too want to thank you, and it's a great experience for any community that hasn't applied yet and should. So thank you.
All right. I would like to invite Mayor Drosty back up. We have a small token of our appreciation. Actually, Mike is going to hand it out. I'll let you guys go this way. But I'll get on the other side. We've had such a great experience and want to leave something, including stacks of reports and piles of posters and all of that, and lots of good memories, but also a little plaque. And you can see the image that's on the plaque here, Wood from the Hood, representing the partnership that we've had this year with the city of Rosemount. So we want to thank them officially with a little plaque, and hope that we'll all have fond memories and I think lots of impacts over many, many years associated with this partnership. So congratulations and thank you. Thank you. All right, great. Well, I'm going to introduce Mike Greco, who you've heard a lot about already and who is absolutely amazing and does tons and tons of really great, efficient work and makes this program run on a day-to-day basis. Mike's the program manager for Resilient Communities Project and is going to introduce and talk a little bit about the faculty role, student perspectives related to RCP.
Thanks, Carissa. So I'm the cat herder on the university side. As the program manager, I have the privilege to work not only with all of the city staff, and again, the staff at the City of Rosemount were just fantastic to work with. But I also get to work with all of the faculty and students who participate in the projects, many of which you saw on the posters outside, many more of which were not represented there. And it's important to note that one of the prime principles of the Resilient Communities Partnership is that this is an opt-in model. So cities apply to be a participant. We don't force anyone to participate. And the same thing is true for faculty and students. We don't force faculty to participate in the program, except for Carissa. We make her teach a course every year that takes on some RCP projects. But faculty choose to participate based on the value they place on providing real-world opportunities for their students related to the courses that they're teaching. And so I think it's just fantastic to say that we had 35 faculty this year who agreed to work on projects and more than 400 students who participated in those projects. And if we could just have all of the faculty who are here, could you just raise your hand for a moment, and can we give them a round of applause? And all of the students who are here, who worked on projects this year. My job is coordinating this program, but all of the work that gets done by these faculty and students and the staff at the city. So really just a tremendous job this year and a wonderful display of that work in the poster session. One of the things that really energizes me to do this work is the stories that I hear from faculty and from students about the value of these projects and what they get out of working with a local community on a real project that's a high priority for the community. And so we've asked today a couple of folks to talk about their experience working with RCP. Lynn Bruin is a professor in design, housing, and apparel, and this is the second year that she's worked with RCP. She's taught 4 classes that have connected with RCP over those 2 years. And Mary Oldham, who's a graduate student in the Humphrey School of Public Affairs, who worked on a project this year in a course that Carissa taught. So Lynn, would you mind coming up?
Thank you. And yes, Mayor, from faculty, I want you to know that we worry about where we take our students and how they're going to be treated, and they were treated royally in Rosemount. Thank you. So I also want to say I realize I'm really fortunate to be at a land-grant university, a urban university, a Research One university. And so why do I need RCP? Because it makes my life easier in very meaningful ways. Mike, you discount what you bring to the program. Day one, I send my students to his website, to his net files, I don't have to pull together all the background material. My summer goes a lot smoother because I sign on with RCP. That's a little secret that my colleagues haven't figured out about. And the other part is it's really important to know that when we take our students out to the community, they are going to be treated the way they are treated in Rosemont. The way we went twice to Rosemont, and Eric came to our class twice, and every time I left feeling like that was exactly the experience I wanted my students to have, and that doesn't always happen. So I am very grateful that we have RCP here and we can work with that. So my students need to raise their hand because they're at the table back there. Raise your hand. These are the students that were in the multifamily development and management class, and our task this time was to develop private student housing that would attract DCTC students to live in Rosemont. And one of the things they did, and I'm really proud, and they don't realize that this isn't a typical 4,000 level course, they developed a set of focus group questions. Because of the connections we had in Rosemont and through RCP, I didn't have to spend any time putting that focus group together. All I had to do was get my students down to Rosemont. And we had a room full of DCTC students. My students conducted a focus group with such professional skills. They're getting tired of me saying how they do me proud. I don't get to see that until I take them out into the community. I see how they behave as students, but now I've seen how they behave as young professionals, and I hope that they have also developed the confidence to move to that next part of their life. So we did a focus group at DCTC. I learned a lot, which I think I'm the expert on affordable housing and rental housing, and boy, they taught me a lot. And then I go back and teach property management. And so we had all kinds of examples that we had just heard from first-time renters and how we would tackle those issues in a property management context. The students took the background material about Rosemont, both provided from the city and RCP, and the information we had from our focus group. They also did precedent in-depth studies around student housing. They pulled those sources of information together to quasi-design, but designing the projects was not the important part. The important part was to conceptually put together a project with a pro forma that would meet the needs of students living in Rosemont. And we're still struggling to make the dollars work. So I'm going to tell you what you're going to get from us is here's the solution, because we worked on that. But one of the things we found by visiting the Dakota County Community Development Authority was that we couldn't use some of the subsidies that we thought that we could use because they weren't applicable to students in Dakota County. We would never get that kind of information in a textbook. But we got that because through this project, we were out in the community. I want to do this again, in case you didn't know that. I just find it's so much easier for me to be a professor in a class that does RCP versus one that does not. If I get asked a question, I need an example. I don't have to stumble. I don't have to grope for those things. I always know I go right back to the RCP project. And then we use that to build, and I'm not going to tell you that the only thing we did in class was RCP, right? No, but we use that as a basis in comparisons for the other objectives we needed to meet in the class. So from the faculty, thank you. And I'm glad you're getting the recognition you so deserve for this program. Thanks.
Good afternoon. My name is Mary Oldham, and I am a student of public policy studying environmental sustainability at the Humphrey School of Public Affairs. And this semester, I'm a student in Dr. Carissa Slaughterback's class, make sure I get this right, Environmental Planning, Policy, and Decision Making. This is a class in which we look at the legal frameworks, the ethical issues, as well as the institutional issues around environmental planning, and how that can be informed by community engagement, collaboration, and different types of thinking about environmental issues. So in this class, as Mike mentioned, I didn't realize that you made Carissa do RCP programs, but it was, but we were divided into teams based on our interests and paired up with the needs of the city. And my team members and I were tasked with looking at alternative energy installations on city-owned facilities, including identifying best practices from other cities, implementation, looking at costs and benefits associated with the various alternatives, and recommend next steps for the adoption of different projects. Seeking out best projects led me to interviewing other people in the state, including people at this Clean Energy Resource Team, CERTS, and cities like Oakdale and Minneapolis. The RCP project also supported me to attend the CERTS, the Clean Energy Resource Teams, conference in March in St. Cloud. This was an amazing opportunity for me to get the practical experiences that people have been talking about and learning hands-on from other people about what they've done. It was exciting to see the connections being made and how many people around the state are energized about clean energy. I couldn't have asked for more apropos sessions at the current CERTS conference. I was able to hear from a solar expert at the Department of Commerce about the incentives that are currently being offered, application of solar data available for every square meter of the state of Minnesota from USpatial here at the university. So you can all pull out your phones or look it up tonight on your laptops, solar.maps.umn.edu. You can see how much solar insulation comes from your roof. So we were able to tie that together with some of the data that we received from the city of Rosemont to put together some recommendations. I also was able to hear from the mayor of Bemidji, Rita Albrecht, about the Guaranteed Energy Savings Program and how this program helped the city of Bemidji fund $2.5 million of programs with guaranteed energy savings. So that's another recommendation that we were able to apply to the project that we're working on for the city of Rosemont and how they can consider alternative energy. Studying policy, we talk a lot about trade-offs. The RCP program gives students real-life application ways to look at the trade-offs that the city has to deal with. The challenges of limited resources, time, budget, staff. Looking at all of these projects, I'm not jealous about what you have to do afterwards to try to decide what you're going to implement when and who's going to work on what. But I want to close by saying I'm really grateful to RCP, to the city of Rosemont, all of the staff, and people that have made this program possible. And I was the student that he'd mentioned. I actually applied to the University of Minnesota while I was working in Kenya, and so I couldn't come visit, but I spent a lot of time on the website looking at the people doing great work at IONE. I looked at the RCP program and what they were doing at North St. Paul and thought, this is a place that I want to be, that I can learn about practical ways to apply what I'm learning. So I'm really grateful for this, and I look forward to hopefully what we learned at Rosemont being applied. I want to thank you again to help me and the next generation figure out how to make sustainable communities that'll thrive in the years to come. Thank you.
Well, today has been about celebrating our partnership with Rosemont. But before we close, we want to introduce our next community partner with whom we will start working. Well, we've already started working, but we'll start working in earnest next week. And that is Carver County. And do we have, should I do these first and then we'll go back? Okay. So this will be our fourth year operating the program, and we selected Carver County back in March. This is, again, a competitive program, so communities apply to be the partner. And the Carver County proposal was really unique. Obviously, being a county, it's a different governmental level than working with a local municipality. And the nature of the proposal is such that it's not simply Carver County that we're working with directly, but a whole host of other partners. So in addition to the administrative services, social services, public health, and planning and water management departments at Carver County, additional partners in the project who have contributed specific projects that relate to their work and their priorities include Carver County Community Development Agency, the cities of Chaska, Victoria, and Watertown, Southwest Transit, and School District 112, which serves eastern Carver County. So this is really a tremendous opportunity, we think, to help evolve the RCP program, an opportunity to work with multiple partners within a specific geographic region, and also to work on projects that we don't typically see at the city level. So because counties are responsible for social services and have public health departments, there's a whole range of projects relating to sustainability that we now have an opportunity to work with in Carver County. In addition, I would just like to say something about the Carver County's commitment to sustainability, which is one of the things that led us to select Carver as our partner for next year. And their proposal, which runs to about 90 pages, a really impressive document and a lot of work to put that document together, really does a tremendous job of weaving a story about sustainability and the importance it plays in guiding development and strategic thinking at the county level. And so that was really one of the things that distinguished this proposal this year. We don't have time, obviously, to go through all of the Carver County projects, but just to give you a general sense of the categories in which these projects land: environmental stewardship, housing opportunity, alternative transportation, community engagement and education, branding and marketing, and administrative efficiency and effectiveness. And those encompass 34 different projects that the county has nominated and that we will attempt to match and work on over the course of the next year. So at this point, I'd like to introduce and welcome up to the podium Nate Cabot. Nate is a planner for the Department of Planning and Water Management at Carver County, and he will be the program coordinator for the county's participation in the partnership next year. Nate?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Nate Cabot, like Mike said. I'm a planner at Carver County, and I'm the staff lead for Carver County's partnership with Resilient Communities Project. Before I go any further, I want to pass on a sincere thank you to the University of Minnesota Resilient Communities Project from Carver County Commissioner Maluchnik. He planned to attend and speak today, but he's unable to due to illness. So I promised him I would do my best to fill in. So here we go. In addition to the Commissioner's thanks to the Resilient Communities Project for inviting us to this celebration, I want to add a particular thank you to Mike. He provided a lot of guidance to me and all of Carver County's partners as we put together our proposal. Pulling our proposal together with so many partners involved, it was a heavy lift, and Mike's assistance really made that a lot lighter. Before I tell you all about the projects that students in Resilient Communities Project will work on, I want to tell you a little bit about Carver County and its unique place in the Twin Cities Metro. Some of the ways we stand out include we are the smallest county by total population. We are proud to have the most land and agricultural preserve. We are family friendly with high quality schools, attractive housing, and a top-notch park system. Over the past 2 years, we've grown faster than any other county in the state, and we are home to the University of Minnesota's Landscape Arboretum. Carver County will continue to grow quickly into the foreseeable future. We expect to add nearly 70,000 people by 2040. That's about the same number of people who live in combined Chaska and Chanhassen, our two largest cities right now. With all that growth, the county is changing quickly. Baby boomers are aging, we're becoming more diverse, traffic congestion is increasing. Through all this change, the public rightfully expects responsive and effective government services to support and maintain Carver County's high quality of life. With that little bit of context behind you, you can understand why when I heard Mike speak about RCP in the fall of 2013 at a conference in Rochester, by highlighting benefits to students in communities like Minnetonka and North St. Paul, quick qualifier, in 2013 Rosemount had not yet applied, but I'm happy to add them to the number of communities I'm jealous of right now. But after hearing how that program works, I could only think about how could we unleash this on Carver County. Now that I'm standing here about to tell you about the partnership, what it will look like for the next school year, I couldn't be more thrilled. The projects completed for the city of Rosemount stand as testament to the wealth of knowledge and ability that is about to come to Carver County, and we're very excited about that. It's going to be awesome. I mentioned earlier that Carver County has applied a very collaborative approach, and Mike kind of went through that to this Resilient Communities project. We've got 34 different projects that Mike highlighted, some of them there. Being led by a combination of the City of Chaska, City of Victoria, Watertown, School District 112, Carver County CDA, Southwest Transit, County Historical Society, County Water Management Organization, Social Services, Public Health Administration, and County Planning and Water Management. Need a drink after that. And a whole host of stakeholders are coming to the table for various projects. Getting all these folks together has been actually surprisingly simple from my standpoint. When I started pitching the idea to people, it was an easy sell and a quick response. Sounds great, where do I sign up? What do you need me to do was frequently what I got from folks. And I'm thankful for all the time and dedication each of the agencies that are in our project have put forward. I'm impressed by the commitment that they've all made to the upcoming 2015-2016 school year. For me, it's fun to reflect on the fact that putting this proposal together has already begun to build new and strengthen existing relationships to take on community issues and objectives that we all share. For example, Public Health, School District 112, County Parks, and the City of Chaska, when we were brainstorming projects, all separately suggested that they could use student assistance with engaging minority and immigrant communities. Well, we soon realized that approaching this topic together would build on everyone's experience, and so a project called Community Engagement with Minority and Immigrant Communities was developed. Another example is the Safe Routes to School project, which will bring School District 112, City of Chaska, Carver County Public Works, and Planning together to improve traffic safety and pedestrian access at the Chaska Community Center. And 2 middle schools and an elementary school, which are all co-located at the intersection of Highway 41 and 10. Partnerships like this will serve to not only ensure the results of student projects are carried forward, but they also tie our communities even closer together as a foundation for successful collaborations to address topics that we aren't even aware of yet that will arise in the future. With all these organizations involved, students will provide insight into important initiatives on a wide variety of topics. They'll impact citizens and the way that they interact with Carver County and the government services it provides. To provide a few examples, students will take on issues facing at-risk populations like ex-offenders, children, and minority and immigrant communities. They'll develop recommendations on housing, transportation topics that build connections for all residents to successfully live, work, and play in Carver County. Students will research energy and environmental topics that inform the county and its partners about how to become more efficient and effective stewards of limited resources in order to meet the needs of today's population without compromising future generations. As my division director explained to county staff earlier this week, outcomes from student projects will effectively spread seeds throughout the community that will provide benefits for years to come. We recognize that, and we're very excited about that. I'm floored by all the work that students have done for the city of Rosemount over this past school year, and I can't wait for all that good stuff to come to Carver County. I hope you all can tell at this point that I'm very excited about Carver County's partnership with the University of Minnesota, RCP. I know all of the staff who will be leading projects are thrilled to soon have a herd of students assisting with moving their projects and priorities forward by leaps and bounds. So I just want to thank RCP again. I want to thank Carver County staff and all the partners that have been involved. And we look forward to welcoming the University of Minnesota and its students to Carver County later this year. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Very excited.
All right. Thank you, Nate. We're very, very excited, and I know there are a number of other Carver County folks here, so we're very pleased to have the opportunity to get to know even more folks. It's time to wrap up, I think, but thank you all for coming. I want to acknowledge Center for Urban and Regional Affairs, which provides really great funding for our program and allows us to exist, use space and accountants and all of those things that we need to make our program run. Institute on the Environment as well, which has been really helpful on communications, on strategic initiatives, as well as providing some funding to us over the years. City of Rosemount, you've been a fantastic partner. Many of the staff will be in my class next week, so I'm excited that we're not even quite done, but we're excited to continue this relationship and stay friends and help in many ways that we can over the years. Thank you to all the U of M students and faculty. Again, if you can raise your hands so that we can know again who's here, students and faculty. Thank you. Also, we haven't mentioned the RCP Advisory Committee. We have some great stakeholders and interested folks from the university and our broader community who provide a lot of great support and a lot of great insight related to the work that we do. So I'm wondering if you can raise your hands as well. Thank you. And RCP staff, I already mentioned Mike and the fantastic work that he does all the time. Doug Moon is in the back. He's a research assistant who has worked with us this year and a PhD student here at the University of Minnesota. We're really grateful for all of your interest in our program and continued support. Thank you to Shar and the Graduate School for being a fantastic booster of us over the years, as well as Office of Public Engagement. Thank you, Andy. So thank you for being here. Enjoy Friday. It looks like the sun has come out. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next year with lots more to report. Thanks.